Be prepared with info. Carry a depth chart with you. So you know who's at practice, who's not at practice. Post it. The kids loved it when I put it in the locker room. When I first got to St. Mary's, I put it in the locker room, and people whined and cried because it was hurting their kids' self-esteem because he's at the bottom of the depth chart. Question. The question is, do we stay on time? One of the things that's really helped us stay on time, we have a scoreboard, and my manager goes up into the press box, and he types in those times. So I know where I am. I know when I'm halfway. If we do something like the sideways drill, we know every 3 minutes within that we're moving. Someone's watching it. Coach, it's 9 minutes left. Switch. Boom. So we keep it going. We've been much better at staying on time by using the scoreboard. And if you have a scoreboard that has the Daktronics, you can program if you don't have a manager except there, you can program all of these intervals in there. Hit one button and walk away, and it'll just do them automatically. All right? Do we deviate from the plan? Yes. Very often, no. When we do have those practices where, holy cow, this is bad. We're clueless. Stop. Everybody take a deep breath, especially Coach Hogan. Calm down. Let's go back and teach. There are times you need to do that.
Do you ever go over 2 hours?
Do we go over 2 hours? We typically aren't allowed to. We're not, I should say, we have one turf field. We have 6 teams. 3 boys, 3 girls teams. We get one turf field. So we're not really allowed to. You see the earlier one, she says we stretch in the parking lot. So what we do now is try to maximize time on the field, or our pre-stretch will be in the parking lot. My JV team's in there practicing, and I would tell him the day before, okay, when we come on, you got to move to half the field. Actually, our fresh off and JV team are on there. You can have half the field, and I'm going to be on for 10, and then you're off. Or I need the whole field to begin with, so you're off. So we try to maximize our pre-stretch and our post-stretch when all the teams are on there early in the season are in the parking lot. So we're only getting an hour 30 when all 6 teams are on the parks let us use their fields. I like this 5:45. I don't have any time to get off. I got team coming on after 5:45. If we practice late, we normally have some flexibility. But we've had where the lights got to be off at 9 for the neighborhood. We've had some times where to blow the whistle, everybody get close to each other, turn the lights off. Let's stretch now. We're pretty good at it. I think it's only fair. The more than anything else, you're being fair to the parents. Really being fair to the parents. And I will say this, when we started using the scoreboard and being on time, our parents, the relationship with the parents changed. To one that, hey, he understands we have other things to do. And when I first got there, you just play the freaking lacrosse 24/7. You got to do a little homework once in a while, okay. But you're mine. I own you. You do whatever. And I'm realizing, oh no, there's parents waiting, and you have to be understanding of that. This here, the depth chart thing. Richie Meade talked at a clinic we put on a couple years ago, and I couldn't have said it. I mean, it's perfect. It's where I respond to parents. It's a vehicle for communication. Your son may not like where he's in the depth chart, but now you could never say, and I heard this, I don't know where I am. I don't know where I stand. Parents email, my son doesn't know where he stands. Try looking at the depth chart posted in the locker room. He'll know exactly where he stands. What he doesn't know is why. What he's telling you, he doesn't know why. Well, then come in and talk to Coach Hogan. But you're mean. He's afraid of you. When are you going to allow your child to start talking to adults? When are you going to allow mom and dad to allow your child to start to talk to adults? They're in high school. Is it college? Is it after 5 years of working a job? When are you as a parent going to make your child talk to adults? If he's too afraid to talk to me, how is he going to be competitive in an intense lacrosse game? Other thing is, if he talks to me, we get to know each other a little bit. I get to know him, he gets to know me. It's a good thing. So it's a vehicle for communication. So we started putting yes?
Coach Hogan, how often do you update that one?
Every day. Every day, and the reason why, I'll skip here. This is my depth chart. And what I do, a couple things. For me, for organizational wise, it helps me because here's, when we go to extra man versus man down or fake, this is extra man, this is man down defense. This is my fake man down. It should be actually fake extra man. This is my fake man down. This is my fake man up. This is my real man up. You also see the different shadings? That's what color jersey they should be in. So when they come in, if they're shaded, they know they're in blue. If they're not shaded, they're in white. So they come onto the field in the jersey color they need to be in for the first drill. And I try to make it so they shouldn't change jersey colors during practice. I try to reduce the number of those as much as possible. I know there are coaches that want everybody to stretch all in the same colors so they look like a team. I'm not so sure there's enough value in that when they're flipping the jerseys back and forth and you're waiting for guys to change the jerseys and practice run out and you only have 2 hours because mom's waiting in the parking lot. Save that time, have the jerseys done beforehand. And then here, I didn't do a good job. I probably just cut and pasted. These guys are shaded and they shouldn't be. So these guys are in blue, these guys are in blue, these guys are in white, these guys are in white. And maybe at this practice, you notice that man down is in white and man up's in blue. We were probably going to go fake against fake at two different ends and then ones against ones at the end. So they're in the right colors, we have to change them again. That make sense? So this is every day. This is my little reminder to keep me honest. How many attack we have, how many middies we have, how many defense we have, how many poles we have, how many goalies we have. Total 34. So I count up. Do I have 34? If I don't have 34, something screwed up. An injured reserve. So this allows kids to know where they are. And sometimes we have kids that play pole and defense, and I'll have to switch them around a little bit. But this every day, I posted this, and this year we had a locker room for the first time in 8 years. Was 7 years. This really helped us to talk to each other and help us plan practice coming out in the jersey color they're supposed to. They know their midfield groups here, but they belong. Yes, question. The question is, he doesn't have a locker room. How do you do that then? I would put it in those little plastic folders and zip tie it to the fence somewhere, just so they have it. One, it helps you. Two, it lets everybody know where they are. And I think it keeps you organized to make sure that you have the right number of colors and guys in blue and the right number of color guys in white. Yes.
Do you post your practice plan daily as well?
Yes. The question is, do we post our practice plan? Yes, we do. And I know guys that trying to do that so kids don't pace themselves. The way I phrase it to our guys is, one, we don't do a whole lot of conditioning, but two is, I'm doing it because I think you're mature. I don't think they're mature at all. But I'm going to tell them I think they're mature. And that's an expectation I have for them, and then maybe I'll benefit from that. Yeah.
For another seminar, what do you mean by fake extra man?
The question is, what do you mean by fake extra man and fake man down? We practice our man up and our man down at the same time at different ends of the field. So we'll have a fake group that's not a real. And kids, it's amazing how much pride they take playing on FEMO. You know, I want to be on fake extra man. Who am I? You know, if there's a really good player, I remember Coach Tierney was at Princeton, talked about when they were playing Syracuse, some kid came in on the scout team, and watched film on Michael Powell. And so he had the finalizer down perfect. And I think they won at the game, and Billy went over to,
it was Casey, it was my freshman year. And it was my best year of college lacrosse. Was playing scout team because I got to go against Christian Cook every day in practice, and I got to be Michael Watson, Casey Powell, whoever the other attackman was, and I got to watch film on them. It was awesome.
And that's the kind of kid, that's the kind of thing you want. The guy turns out to be a first-team All-American, All-Pro. But it's unbelievable how kids get into that. They want to be on fake extra man, or they want to be on. Not many guys want to be on fake man down, but they really want to be on fake extra man. They want to be the other guy. And we would do, also when we do 6-on-6 or we're preparing for the team, we would bring jerseys out that matched up number-wise of the kid that we're going to play against. Like the kid Boyle is a freshman, sophomore at Harvard now. He was a really good player at Gilman. We brought the kids, the guys were fighting over who got to be him. which is really strange. We beat the crap out of them for 3 straight days, but they loved it. I'm more like him than anybody else. So a little team enthusiasm.
Quick question on
Yeah.
that start. How young in youth programs would you go with that?
Question is, how young would you go with depth charts and youth things? Do you have enough guys to have a depth chart? I don't know. Okay, then I think it may be something you produce every once in a while. I think the younger kids, juniors, 7th and 8th graders, I think you could do it with. Younger kids, I would think about that. But I think if you're not going to produce it, you need to find a way to communicate with kids so they know where they are. One of the best compliments I ever got as a coach was a kid in 1986 up at Clarkson University. I was doing my exit interviews with him. He never played for us. He goes, Coach, I always knew where I stood with you. It wasn't a good place, but I always knew where I stood with you. That's what you should be doing as a coach. Yes, teaching kids X and O's, make kids better players, but he was a good practice player and a good teammate because he appreciated that he knew where we stood the way I communicated to him. And I think that's really good.
Coach Hogan,
Yeah.
sorry, do you do extra man up every day?
No. The question, do we do extra man up every day? Once the game season begins, if we have 3 days to prepare, probably 2 of those 3. It's funny, in the beginning of the season, we almost always neglect man up, man down till too late. And then once we start doing it, we probably do too much of it. I wish we'd do a little better job of doing it more because I was fortunate to have a very, very good offensive coach. He's now the head coach of St. Mary's, Rob Chomo, and I trusted him to run extra man on his own. And I did man out on my own. So I was at 2 different ends. And then we'd come together. I still had some input into what to do in extra man, but it was beneficial. We'd go 10 to 12 minutes, and we're working on 2 things in those 10 to 12 minutes, not just one. And then very often we get together. Now, one of the things we do with extra man and man down, once we get into a couple games, we time every single penalty. It's a 30-second or a minute penalty. What I don't like, and I saw that even though I was more of a defensive coach, when you practice man up and man down, if the offense throws the ball away, that penalty is over. Get them to learn to value the ball. Because if they throw it away, you get right back and reward the defense. That was a stop. That was a stop. Because otherwise, it's not realistic. Plus, you can't have a 2-minute foul. You can, but you don't have many of those. So keep them under time. And I'll get into that in a little bit too. But I think we would do, we'd go Sunday, Monday, we'd practice, Wednesday, Thursday practice. Once games began, we would do a lot of it. Probably 12 minutes against fakes and a good 10 minutes against ones-on-ones. If we felt that was going to be a high, a part of sometimes I didn't feel it was necessary because either we didn't feel challenged there. We try not to foul a lot, so we don't, but if we're playing a team we know is going to foul, and we do think like one team we always feel it's come down to man up, man down, then we'll maybe do a little bit more. We'll practice it maybe before practice, before we'll do some stick work or some skeletal extra man. And it may depend upon, I also think, because we play so often and teams do such a good job scouting us, we sometimes tend to get stuck on just a couple plays, and now everybody knows what we're doing. So now we have to change it. Maybe we've got to practice a little bit more, or maybe that's your stick work before stretching is extra man does stick work with the new plays. They're just throwing the ball around to do new plays.